Good morning everyone. Guess where I am today? I'm actually at the Joseph Hood Recreation Ground here in Morden, not far from the Morden and South Merton boundaries, and I'm on my way to Raynes Park to do a spot of shopping on this fine, wonderful autumnal day here in suburbia. So this is the entrance to the Joseph Hood Rec from Cannon Hill Lane, and over in the distance we have Civic Centre, and just behind us we have this beautiful specimen of a Morris Traveller car. Look at that beautiful Morris Traveller from 1969, G-Reg Morris Traveller in its British racing green colours. Absolutely superb vehicle. And what we're going to do is going to walk along the wreck, heading northwestwards along this little pathway here. Hope everyone's been keeping well and behaving themselves. As you know, I try to, but hey ho, such is life. So we're entering the recreation ground. This is the Joseph Hood Recreation Ground. I'm walking along the western side of it. So this is the recreation ground here. It's quite a large recreation ground. And it's a beautiful little spot here in southwest London. So we're not far from the Morden and Raynes Park boundary. Over there in the distance is actually Wimbledon, so I'll just zoom in a bit. And if you look in the centre of the video, just behind those goalposts, that is Sacred Heart Church. And that is the church where I was christened as a baby back in 1975. So that's Wimbledon and Wimbledon Village over in the distance there. So yes, this is the Joseph Hood Recreation Ground in all its glory. And it's one of these parks I love walking through at different times of the year. Now we're in the start of autumn, but at the moment the leaves still have the trees still have their leaves on them rather. But all that will change at the end of the month when the leaves start to fall and all the pathways and grass starts to get cluttered with leaves. So yeah, I'm just enjoying this little constitutional here in suburbia. The sun is out, it's nice and warm, it's a little bit of a breeze. But I thought I'd do a bit of shopping in Raynes Park. Raynes Park being the place where I grew up back in the early 80s. And obviously this area of London has a lot of special memories for me. Straight in front there's a magpie on its own. Hello Mr. Magpie. So yeah, this is a beautiful part of London, this. And that's what I love about living in this part of London. We're so blessed to have lots of different open spaces and parks and gardens, and yeah, this recreation ground being one such place. So what we're going to do, we're going to keep walking along this footpath on the western side of the Joseph Hood Recreation Ground. So we're literally on the border between Morden and Raynes Park, where the postcodes of SM4 and SW20 meet up. So this view here is looking sort of northwestwards towards Raynes Park itself. This recreation ground being known for joggers and dog walkers and things, as well as for football and things like that. So that's a view looking southeastwards, that's looking towards Morden. If I zoom in, you can just see Civic Centre in Morden just towering up above the houses there. That's the Merton Civic Centre, or the town hall as it were, that's in Morden. As soon as you see that ugly monstrosity, you know straight away that's Morden. So that's that's Civic Centre, formerly known as Crown House or Clown House. And then if we zoom that way, that takes us towards Wimbledon, which we'll see more of in a little while. But follow me as we keep walking along this wonderful little footpath. So we're now coming up towards the children's play area of the Joseph Hood Rec, where there's a small paddling pool as well as the usual games like swings and slides and that sort of thing. So we're going to go straight on. Just here to the left is the turning where you come into Cannon Hill Common. So that area through there, that little wooded area, that takes you into Cannon Hill Common. Another beautiful little spot here in southwest London. So there's the paddling pool, ironically without any water in it. That's the children's play area here in the Joseph Hood Rec. So what we're going to do, we're going to go through this little footpath which takes us out to Waitrose Avenue. So we've got this footpath here. It's quite a secluded little spot, but that takes us to Waitrose Avenue. And then at the junction up ahead we will be doing a left turn into another footpath. So it's quite countrified along here. It will be when we turn left. So there's this footpath here. Do excuse the shaky camera at times. So on the right here, this is the end of Waitrose Avenue, which is a cul-de-sac, suburban cul-de-sac, and that takes you down to Martin Way and Bushy Mead. So we go left, we go into this lovely little footpath. Now this really is countrified. So this lovely secluded little footpath, and we're heading west now. So over on that, behind that fence, that's part of Cannon Hill Common. And then very shortly we shall be coming out onto King George's recreation ground, or the King George's Rec as we always used to refer to it as back in the day. Lots of overhanging trees and branches and things, but that adds to the character of this footpath. And as you can see, it's all gravel, it's all stones. So that's the back end of Cannon Hill Common, and then you've got the football club around here. So we'll keep going westwards along this footpath. On this beautiful October morning, well, early afternoon now because it's gone past 12. It's nice to have a bit of fresh air and warm weather here and there with a nice gentle breeze blowing. So we're slowly coming to the Prince George's Rec. If I called it King George's Rec, I do apologise, it's the Prince George's Rec. So this is the Prince George's recreation ground here. It's a massive place. Straight on ahead, that's the houses that make up the top end of Grand Drive. And it looks like the circus is coming to town because we've got all the lorries and equipment and everything. So there's a circus taking place, or shortly taking place, on that patch of land over there by Bushy Road. So this is the Prince George's playing fields, or Prince George's Rec. So there's lots of different football pitches on here, and it really is an amazing place. It's one of those places where I can feel glad to be alone and in my own company. And it's used by dog walkers, and also on Saturday and Sunday afternoons they also have football tournaments and things played here, hence the goalposts. And you've got all these wonderful trees and greenery all around, and it's a wonderful place, it really is. So just there on the other side, that's Raynes Park itself. So what we'll do, we're going to be heading northwestwards. So we've just entered the Prince George's Rec from the southeastern corner. So we're going to come out at the northwestern corner. And there's my church over there, there's Sacred Heart Church in the middle of the video. If I just zoom in again. That Sacred Heart Church there, just behind those trees, you can just see the roof of the church. And that was the church where I was christened as a baby, and also when I went to Mass when I was at Wimbledon College back in the late 80s and early 90s. So that church has a lot of happy, fond memories for me, as does this part of London itself. So we're still walking northwestwards across the Prince George's Rec. Sun's starting to come out between the clouds. which is what we like to see. So yes, this is another one of the famous green spots in southwest London that we're so happy to be blessed with. Only a short walk away, or a short bus ride away from where I live. So at the moment I'm just going to pause the video for a short while I get a bit of air in my body. I shall pause it here, looking towards Sacred Heart Church. That's it, more over there in the middle of the video. It's a bit fuzzy because it's a bit distant. So what I'll do, I'll just pause. And we're back in the room. So this part of London, it has the postcode of SW20, SW meaning Southwest London, and 20 being the last postcode in the Southwest London area. Just go through this little dip, ooh, and we're here. So there's 20 postcodes that make up the Southwest London postcode. So SW19 is Wimbledon, SW20 is West Wimbledon, or Raynes Park, or Cottenham Park, depending on how snobby you are. Ah, this is wonderful, I love this spot. So very shortly, once we come out of the Prince George's Wreck, we're going to be crossing over Bushy Road, which is a quite busy road because it links southwest London with the A3 over at Shannon Corner. So straight ahead where all those cars and lorries are going, heading west, that's Bushy Road, and that takes you to the A3. A3 being the main road out of southwest London towards the likes of Guildford and of course Portsmouth. Got a few people there walking their dogs. This is a perfect place for people to walk their dogs because there's lots of room, lots of space, lots of grass and lots of opportunities for the dogs and their owners to relax and enjoy themselves. Because dogs do bring enjoyment, otherwise they wouldn't have been invented, would they? So we're closely coming up to the northwestern end of the Prince George's Wreck, where there's a little gap in the fence where we walk through and out onto Bushy Road. So this view here, that's looking eastwards towards where this circus is. Also the David Lloyd Centre here in Raynes Park. So we've left Morden behind, so we're in Raynes Park now. So we're going to be coming up to the northwestern gate here at the Prince George's Wreck. As we head across Bushy Road, wish me luck, into Raynes Park itself, into one of the famous Apostle Roads where there's 12 roads. Call them Apostle Roads because there's 12 roads. And of course there was 12 apostles in the Bible. So this is a little footpath that leads outwards onto Bushy Road itself. So we go up on this step, and this is Bushy Road here, heading west. So this is Bushy Road looking towards Shannon Corner at the junction with Grand Drive. So we've got Grand Drive that goes to the left, which takes you down to Lower Morden, and the other part of Grand Drive going right, which takes you to Raynes Park Station. And as you can see, it's a very, very busy street. One of the main roads out of southwest London is this road, Bushy Road. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to contemplate crossing the road. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cross a bit lively. And we're done. And then what we're going to do, we're going to cross over again. This time it's a bit quieter. And then what we do a left here into Gore Road. So this is Gore Road, one of the roads that I used to ride my BMX bike down back in the 80s. I used to love my BMX bike because gave me a bit of independence and a bit of freedom, and also it gave me a chance to explore places as a kid, and I love that. If I had a time machine going back to the 1980s, I'd be on it, no question. So this is Gore Road. This is Gore Road looking northwards. So very shortly, in the next 5 minutes, we'll be going underneath Raynes Park station through the famous tunnel. So this is one of the famous 12 Apostle roads, which were built in the early 1900s when this part of London started to become urbanised due to the railway being built. So we've got some beautiful typical 1900s terraced housing along this street, along with the small trees which make it a really nice area to live in. So yeah, got this typical 1910s and 1930s architecture on this road. And this being the part of Wimbledon and Raynes Park where I used to ride my bike back in the day. Oh yeah. Call it a cliche, call it old-fashioned, but I didn't get back until the street lights started to come on because my mum and dad knew where I was. So very shortly we'll be doing a left into Approach Road, and then we'll be going underneath the tunnel into Raynes Park. So straight ahead is Approach Road, which is served by buses on routes 152, 163 and K5. And here's one of the new electric buses there on the 163, overtaken by a 152. So this is one of the new electric buses on the 163 there, that's SEE 179. And there's another 152 going to New Morden. Stopping here at this bus stop, here on Approach Road. There's the old Whistle Stop Fish Bar or fish and chip shop, which has been there since the Romans invaded. So very shortly we shall be crossing over at this road junction on this corner. There's the southern entrance of Raynes Park station there. So that is the southern entrance of Raynes Park, which was built by the Southern Railway in the 1930s. And then very shortly we shall be going through that tunnel over there. The old cattle tunnel, as it used to be called. So that's Approach Road over there, looking east towards Wimbledon. So this is Raynes Park station, so we've got the junction here for the lines to Epsom and Chessington, as well as the main line to Hampton Court and Surbiton. Now we walk through this tunnel here. This is what was called the Old Cattle Tunnel, or the Cattle Arch. And that takes us out into Coombe Lane, which is on the other side of the tunnel. So this bridge just above, that's the line from Epsom towards Waterloo. So we're now coming out onto Coombe Lane. There's a bus on the 131 going to Tooting. There's the old Barclays Bank building from Raynes Park, which is now a new life facial centre for young ladies and such like. So this is now Coombe Lane. And we're almost 20 minutes into the video. So this is Coombe Lane, this is looking east towards Wimbledon. There's one of the electric buses on Route 200. There's the Raynes Park Tavern, or the Raynes Park Hotel, which was refurbished a few years ago. So what we'll do, we'll get a video of this 200 leaving the stop, This is one of the new electric buses which were introduced on the 200 back in 2021. One of the Optair Metro Deckers, no less. So here it is pulling away. Here we go, Optair Metro Decker. It's going to stop at the Pelican Crossing. Fleet number ME4. So that's going to move forwards in a little while on its way to Mitcham via Cottenham Park and Wimbledon. So this is ME4. Heading off on its way to Mitcham, where it will shortly be turning right into Durham Road on its way towards Wimbledon and Mitcham. So we're now heading westwards along Coombe Lane, along with a cycle lane. So this is Coombe Lane, which eventually takes you towards Kingston and New Morden, etc. There's an Enviro 400 on the 57, on a normal staple fare on the 57, E119. So that's Coombe Lane looking westwards there towards the likes of New Morden. And if you travel on the 57, that will take you all the way along Coombe Lane in towards Norbiton and Kingston. Ironically enough, this road was actually served by electric buses in the form of trolley buses up until May 1962. Over there we have Amity Grove looking north, along with the Raynes Park post office and this new Raynes Park Travel Lodge. And very shortly I shall be turning off the camera as I go towards doing some shopping in Waitrose, which is coming up on the left hand side along here. On the right hand side is the junction with Durham Road, so that's where that 200 that's just gone, that's where it turns right into. That's Durham Road over there. So the 200 goes up Durham Road towards Cottenham Park, Cops Hill and into Wimbledon Village that way. So we're now coming into the car park at Waitrose. And the little turning circle here. So that's Coombe Lane there, that's Durham Road over there. And this is the new modern Waitrose development, which was put in about 5-6 years ago. So very shortly I'm going to turn off the camera as I do a spot of shopping on this lovely autumnal day. And if I don't see you before, I hope you enjoyed the video. There's an obligatory 4x4 coming in. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I shall say tar for the like.